Hey, welcome back to Math with Patrick. It's April 15th, and we have problem number 105 to solve from this Daily Epsilon calendar. And of course, the answer is 15, which is today's date. Zia was asked to subtract 3 from a number, then divide by 9. I think that's a typo. Instead, he subtracted 9, then divided by 3 to get 43. What's the correct answer? All right, so I'm noticing there's part one, part two. There's some numbers I don't know, and usually when you're doing this kind of math, it's best to represent those numbers with variables. And it just seems like maybe a little bit of arithmetic, maybe a little bit of algebra. So let's try it out. Let's take a look at what this first chunk of stuff gives us. Zia was asked to subtract 3 from a number. So I don't know what that number is, and so here's a great time for us to introduce a variable. So let's just say x. Zia was asked to subtract 3 from a number, then divide by 9. So this is what Zia was supposed to do. Instead, he subtracted by 9, then divided by 3 to get 43. So it looks like, if you subtract by 3, then divide by 9, that's probably going to do something different from subtracting by 9, then dividing by 3. You're just kind of swapping the numbers around. What is the correct answer? So I think it's like a two-parter. First, I should figure out what Zia is starting with to begin with. And then once I know that number, I'll plug it back in here and get my answer. So that's my plan. Basically, I just want to find out what this x is going to be. And once I know it, I'll plug it back in here. All right. Well, taking a look at the second equation, let's use some algebra steps here. I know that if I start at some number, let's call it x. If I subtract by 9, then divide by 3 and get 43, well, I can use opposite operations in reverse order to get back to where I started. So I know that if I start at 43 and I multiply by 3 and then add 9, I should get back to x. And also you can kind of see this process when you think of those like algebra steps where like you do the same thing to both sides. And the first thing I want to do here is multiply by this 3. So I'll go times 3 times 3. These things cancel out. We just get x minus 9 equals, I think that's 129. And then the opposite operation, opposite of subtracting 9 would just be adding 9. And then now I see that x is equal to 138. And so like whenever you're doing these algebra problems, there's like in my opinion, two best ways to think about it. You could just work through the algebra just like this, and maybe you can spot that the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. Or you can think about what happens to our value of x. First we subtract by 9, then we divide by 3 and get 43. And then you can just work your way back up as long as you do the opposite thing, and then you should get back at x. So x is 138, and I think all we got to do is just plug that 138 back into here, and we'll get our answer. I guess maybe we'll do it off to this right side here. Well, 138 minus 3 divided by 9 should give us our answer. I'll do the minus 3 first. That's going to be 135 over 9. And how many 9s fit into 135? I think actually, in my opinion, it's easiest for me to look at it this way. And I can tell that I get 10 9s from the 90, and I get 5 9s in the 45. And so ultimately, I have the number 15 today. So that is what's going to go right here in this box. There we go. Our answer is 15, and we're all done. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.